Finding the perfect settings for your webcam can be a daunting task. Not only that, the included software sometimes doesn't allow, all the adjustments that you need, or perhaps it maybe crashes on you, or whatever the case may be. I had someone ask me, how can I adjust my camera inside of OBS without having to worry about the, included software for my camera? So we're going to show you how to do that today, and it's quite simple, and it should hopefully be an easy video for you to follow along with. But if you do have any questions, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them as best as possible. So anyway, let's jump up here and we'll show you how to adjust your camera inside of OBS. All right, so here we are inside of OBS, and as you can see, I have my list of sources right here. I'm currently using an Elgato face cam. I just was too lazy to change the name of my cameras, because then I would have to change filters as well. But in any event, whatever webcam you are using, find that in your list of sources. And in my case, it's the current camera I'm using, which is side cam. But you're going to right click on your camera, and by right clicking, it's going to bring up a menu, and you're going to go to properties. And once you click on properties, it's going to open up the properties for your camera. In this case right here, this is the OBS Meet 2 stream camera, and you have a whole host of options that you can change inside of this menu. For most of these, you can actually leave them alone, but you can deactivate your camera in the event that you want to. There is also a configure video button, and we will get to that in just a moment. But the resolution type, you're going to choose either the device default, depending on what your camera is. But in my case, my camera supports multiple resolutions, so I'm going to choose custom. And when you choose custom, it gives you the option to choose a resolution. And sometimes there is a drop down menu. In this case right here, my camera does support 4K, and it also goes all the way down to 640 by 360 as well. But I want to keep my camera at 1080p, so that's what I'm going to be choosing. I would highly recommend, instead of choosing FPS, matching your output FPS, I would choose the highest FPS for your camera. For my camera, it is 60 FPS. But by choosing highest FPS, it ensures that your camera always tries to achieve 60 FPS while you're streaming or while you're recording. The other options in this list you should not have to mess with in the indication of video format, color space, color range, and buffering. You should pretty much leave those at default and allow the video format to be any or whatever option is available. Generally, if it says device default or any, then I'll leave it at device default. But in my case, it's just leaving it at any. Once you do that, you can now go in here, and we're going to go back to configure video. And this is going to allow you to adjust all the options for your camera. Let me drag this menu over here so you can actually see it. So there is the options that you'll have for your camera when it comes to configuring your video. You can adjust the brightness, the contrast, the hue, saturation, sharpness of your camera. Depending on what camera you have, you can adjust the gamma as well. White back balance, you can adjust the backlight compensation, which basically what that means, if you have a really dark background, it will try to adjust or increase the lighting behind you by opening up the sensor on your webcam to allow more light in, and it will allow the background to appear to be much more brighter than what it actually is. Then you also have the gain as well. You want to try and keep the gain as low as possible, because when you increase the gain on your webcam, it's going to include a lot of distortion in your background that will be easily picked up. So try to keep that as low as possible. That way you don't have that distortion in the background. The next tab that you're going to see right here is for camera control. And again, depending on the type of camera that you have a zoom option, you have your focus. Depending on your webcam also, I personally don't like using autofocus. But depending on, like I said, depending on the webcam itself, autofocus can be done really, really well on some webcams, but in some instances, it's not done well. And you don't want to have your camera, trying to track your face all the time. But again, if you're not having any issue with autofocus, go ahead and check that box, and it will allow you to be able to focus on any event that you put your hand up to the camera. It will try to focus on your hand, or if you try to put a product or anything for that matter, leaving it on autofocus will allow it to try to adjust the focus for your camera. After your focus, you also have the exposure. Again, you want to try and keep this as low as possible, because again, when you increase the exposure, it incorporates or adds more distortion in your background, and you want to keep your webcam quality looking as best as possible. And again, we have your aperture as well. The aperture, again, depending on your webcam, may or may not support this. In my case, the OBS Meet 2 does not. support aperture changes. Then we have a pan, tilt, and roll option, and that is exactly what it is. It pans left, right, up, down, left, and right with a tilt. Roll options as well. But we're going to go through these settings in just a second and show you exactly what each and every one of them does. Okay, so let's go back to this first tab, which is Video Proc. And you can adjust the brightness with this first slider. And we're going to show you exactly what it is. Again, it just adjusts brightness up and down, pretty much exactly what it says. You cannot enter in any event. You want to type in a number. That doesn't let you type any numbers whatsoever, but it is all dependent upon the slider. So let me slide this back down. And it was set to 50. So we want to go back to 50. It's on 55. Can use the arrow keys on your keyboard, however, to adjust it, to be able to adjust it, more easily. In me personally, I have issue, sliding it with the mouse. Next one is the contrast, and this is going to increase the depth of blacks for your camera as well. So again, if you go all the way to the right, you're going to get down. If you're going to reduce blacks by going there, so let me go back to contrast. It was on 53, 52. Then we got our hue settings as well, and this is going to change the actual hue of your camera. So again, let's show you what it does. Again, we're going to look more green if we go towards the right. If we go towards the left, you're going to get more blue, pink, red, and looking colors. So generally speaking, you kind of want to keep it in the middle unless your camera, for whatever reason, does not look quite exactly right. So again, back to 50. So our next one is saturation, and the saturation is going to increase the intensity of the colors for your camera. So if you want to look at super saturated, it's going to like blow you out. You're going to be super orange and bright. And then if you turn it all the way down, you're going to be gray. I should use a command in my Twitch channel or for a channel point redemption that whenever they do zoom, it zooms in, turns everything black and white, and then it zooms back out. If you want to see a video on how I actually accomplish that, let me know. It's really easily done with StreamerBot, but we're going to turn our saturation back down to where it was, generally speaking. Around 50 is going to be okay, but if you find that for whatever your reason that your camera is looking a little bit dull, you can bump up the saturation just a little bit. Our next one is sharpness, and this is going to increase the sharpness of your camera. So let me get my mouse on it. If you slide it all the way to the left, it's going to make you look really, really soft looking. And if you bump it up to the right, as far as it goes, it's going to increase your sharpness. If you notice in the background behind me, around those doors, they get really, really, punchy lines around them. So you don't want it to look too crazy. So again, bumping it back down to wherever feels comfortable, wherever it looks good, is where you want to keep it at. The next setting that you have is gamma, and again, all cameras do not support gamma. Mine does not support this. So again, to play around with it if you need to, but generally speaking, you shouldn't really have to mess with the gamma too much. And then our next one is white balance, and this is exactly what it says. Pushing it all the way to the right is going to change the color for you. If you push it over to the left, it's going to change the color as well. So if you push it all the way to the left, you're going to look more blue. If you push it out towards the right, you're going to end up with a more orangey color. In my case, I have an auto feature as well, so I can click that. If I click auto, it's going to try and to adjust to what it thinks is best. Some cameras do this really well. Some cameras don't. I personally like to adjust the white balance myself, especially if you have colored lights in the background like I do. Your camera sometimes will struggle with trying to find the perfect white balance in that situation. So let me uncheck auto right here. And we're going to turn the color temperature down. You can see it's back to the orange color. I think I had it at about 5,000 or so. Let me use my arrow keys. It works better for me this way. But again, once you get it to the left, more blue. So around 5,000 looks about right for me. So let me hit apply. And then we have our backlight compensation. This one doesn't really do a whole lot for my camera. But for some other cameras, I know for an older camera I had, adjusting the backlight compensation, it would brighten up the background a whole lot for me. But for this camera, it doesn't really do a whole lot. So again, play around with it, find out what looks the best for you. But I'm just going to stick it right back in the middle. And then we're going to be back to our gain section right here. Again, blows you out if you move it over to the right. And if you notice, There's pixelation in the edges right there. If you put it all the way down, again, really, really dark. So you can't see it. So I'm gonna adjust it back to about where it was. Let me turn it down just a little bit. Maybe 8, 9, not sure. Let's go ahead and stick with 8 this time. And then after each one, go ahead and click apply. That way it makes sure that these settings stick. Now over to camera control. Some cameras support some of these features, some don't. The zoom feature right here, my camera is stationary, but I can zoom in and as far as you want, zoom out. And then you can adjust the focus as well. Depending on the camera as well, it will adjust how far and how much you can actually zoom in on your camera. Then the next one, of course, is the focus. I'm gonna slide this slider all the way up, and it gets really blurry. If you go out too far, then it gets a little bit blurry as well. Some cameras have autofocus, some cameras do not. I know that the original Elgato face cam does not have autofocus. It has a fixed stationary focus, but this camera does. So I can click auto for this one, hit apply, and I can stick my hand up here. And it will try to focus on my hand. Put it back, and boom, it kind of jumps back to my face again. But we're gonna uncheck it because again, I don't really use the autofocus features a lot. Uncheck it. I think I was about lower than that. Let me turn it down to about there. Then our next one is exposure. Again, let me show you what it looks like with auto exposure on. It kind of blows it out a little bit. So again, some cameras do it really well. I know this one handles it in really well lit rooms. So I'm gonna change my lighting real quick, and then I'll show you what it looks like with auto exposure checked. And as you can see what it is with the colors in the background. A lot of webcams have issues again with that when you have colored lights in the background, trying to find and adjust to the proper lighting in your room. So let me swap my lights real quick and then we'll come back. All right, so here we go. And this is with the auto exposure on automatic. If you notice, it does a little bit better job. It's still a little bit blown out for my preference, but again, it handles it a little bit better in a well-lit room. If you have, again, I have two key lights, one right here and one on the other side of here. The one on the right-hand side is pointing towards the wall and it's bouncing light off of the wall. And then this left-hand light here is about a 45-degree angle just to highlight the side of my face. And we'll go back and show you exactly how you can adjust the exposure on manual, which is what I actually prefer to do. All right, so here we are back with my lights back on in the background. Again, you can see it's kind of blown out, so let's uncheck this box. So now you can manually adjust it. The lower it goes, it's going to get darker. The higher it goes, it's going to get much brighter. But we're going to put it back on about 5 or 6, which is where I had it. Then our next is aperture. Some cameras support this one does not. And then we have a pan and tilt option. This camera does support some minor pan and tilt, but what I'm going to have to do is zoom in a little bit. That way it will be able to adjust. Because again, this is just a stationary camera. So let me zoom in just a little bit. And then you can manually adjust the pan and tilt for the camera. All right, let me if I can get the mouse on it. So again, pan to the left, pan to the right. Put it back in the center. And then we have our tilt feature as well. That's going to go down a little bit. It's going to go up a little bit. Put it back in the center. And then we have a row option as well. Yeah, this camera, even though it does support it on here, it actually does not do anything. And so you can go back to the default. Boom, boom. We're going to turn the exposure back down. So by hitting the default button, it's going to put it back to the original default settings for your camera. So I go ahead and hit apply. And once you find the proper settings or your perfect settings for yourself, go ahead and click OK. Click OK on this box right here. It's going to go away. All right, so there we go. Let's go back to our full camera mode. This is how simple it is to adjust your camera inside of OBS without any software whatsoever. So if you're having problems with your software that outside of OBS, don't worry about it. You can take care of it inside of OBS. But if you have any questions, let me know and we will try our best to answer them for you. But as always, much love and we will see you in the next one.